so we're here with Jez, S15 underscore BRV, which I'll whack there, and your S15.
Yes.
Originally a spec car.
Yes, yeah.
And part of the Remains Low, is it Nagata? No.
Yeah, they're from Nagata. Yeah.
Nagata
Yeah.
Remains Low drift team. First thing obviously that points out is the body kit. You say it's Works 9.
Yeah, it's mostly a Works 9 body kit, yeah. For D-Max, rear over fenders, 50 mil I believe.
And
don't quote me on that one.
Fronts you're not sure?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they're Works 9 or they look like
because they've
Origin, but they're slightly customised. They're not
like they've been heavily cut, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can actually obviously get the clearance, especially the rear ones. You were saying earlier that it's almost like it usually comes down to like there.
Look at the normal D-Max ones. Yeah, there's a bigger gap here where the actual
especially there, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you can see where they've cut it. That's just purely because of how low they've driven the actual car. So most of it's been customised.
Yeah, man.
So
the skirts haven't been messed with too much at all.
They're normal skirts.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's not a lot left on the bottom.
I was going to say he's cut all of that off.
No,
unless that's
from drifting. If you look on his Instagram, how low he drifts it, yeah, it's ridiculous. So.
See, it's literally like the same as mine as well. All the videos is like fucking scraping on the thing. Wheel specs, mate. Obviously, the main thing that pops out, they are
Works VSKFs, 18 inch. Rears are 12J, front's 10.5. So
what's the offset on those? Do you know?
I haven't actually measured them, so I don't, without measuring them, I don't know. I know they got 7-inch barrel lips on the front and 6-inch lips on the.
And twin R33 rear
calipers, yeah.
One's just for the hydro.
One's just purely for the hydro. The other one's for the brakes. Yeah.
Sweet, man.
It's
and
got
then
the adapter plate between the hub and the.
Yeah, you can see it.
And obviously 326 bar brakes up front, which it came with from Japan.
Like it's not a 6-pot, is it?
No, they're 4-pot now.
A 4-pot beefy boy.
But
cool, man.
I might look to change them at some point.
What would you change to?
Unsure yet. Not case boards, let's put it that way. Not case boards.
Now that's interesting, mate. Why? Because obviously everyone seems to pick them. I know it's like the easiest one in the UK to choose, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean they are nice. I've got them on my S2000, and like the kits are nice and that. I just don't feel like they're right for this car, to be honest. I mean,
you want to keep it?
Look at all the options. Yeah, I want to keep it. You know,
Japan. We got our nice real Ganadors with electrics.
Both ones actually. Yeah,
Something's doing it.
One move.
Hey.
There you go. Look.
Yes. Real Ganadors with electrics.
Now I won't be able to see where I'm going.
You're talking like £1,000 nowadays for those. 326 power wing.
Yep.
Awesome. Has that been modified in any way? Because it looks
I think
slightly wider.
That is just the way it sits. Yeah. They're designed to be wider over the edge.
And
the Works 9 shotgun exhaust.
You say it has usually has a custom splitter there. You
Yeah, the diffuser I haven't put on yet. It's in like a few bits from where it's obviously been drifting with it, so that needs to be like cable tied together pretty much.
And the exhaust is a full straight through system.
Yeah, 4-inch straight through from the downpipes, 2.5 I think from the TD06, and then.
And that's just fully custom by him, or was it like? Oh, hang on.
No, that's Works 9. Shotgun.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you don't see that anymore.
And it's been reinforced at the bottom.
Because initially I thought he'd added them, but that's the complete kit actually has these tips like that. That's amazing.
2 3P management from airlift that I had left over from my other car.
And the only reason you put it on is because the coilovers were it was like an inch off the ground, you said.
The coilovers were literally, maximum height was just basically still scraping on the floor. And the car's designed to be low. It can still be driven low. It's just having that flexibility of going, you know, higher when you need to. Instead of just air cups, great, but you can't really drive on them. They're just designed to get over stuff. And how low this car actually sits, I'm constantly. I mean, you were driving up the road earlier, I'm constantly scraping out.
Yeah. How much does it lift it for you? Like
well, you can go to about 100 psi on each one, so it'll go quite high.
Oh, really? You can literally monster truck it over a bump.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because when you were driving earlier, you weren't that high, and I was thinking, okay, is that the height?
No, I can choose whatever height I've got. But you can actually, it's not actually like you could move at that height if you really wanted to. It will drive at that height still. It's just the exhaust.
Well, I was going to say
pretty much on the floor.
Surely the frame and everything else.
Yeah, but, I mean, he drove it lower than this in Japan, really. think pretty much the same on the rear, but the fronts were...
I would assume on the track he did, but surely the roads.
Well, I think they trailered it. They have them naughty trailers, don't they?
Interior wise, he's kept it nice and sort of stockish. He's kept it like as much interior trim as you can.
Yeah, still got the door cards, still got obviously the dash, which hasn't put the gauges in the vents, which is nice. He's put them on the roll cage.
And you don't think you'll change that, like the usual, put them in the vents?
No, I don't think I'll put them in the vents or keep them. I mean, it's hot enough in there as it is. But
how is it for visibility up there? Because when I initially...
Yeah, it's fine. You can see loads.
Are you sort of... I just imagine that you'd like have to be like, oh, hang on, what's...
The only one that's quite close is obviously the boost gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, what am I doing? Hang on. Roads, eyes off the road.
Yeah, not really looking at the gauges, but...
How does the hydro perform?
Yeah, that does lock up very well. Obviously got a brake bias valve there.
I'd 100% like to see that, but we'll see if we can get that done today. You're going to change the Zilla seats, aren't you? But these are full carbon backs anyway.
They're full carbon backs, yeah, that I found just for now. Obviously when I got the car it didn't have any seats. He wanted to keep his Recaro seat.
Oh really?
Apparently his Recaro seat was sentimental or something, I don't know.
What were they, just like Recaro confetti or something?
They weren't confettis, no, it was just a normal black Recaro seat.
Oh, right.
Whether it's the one he's always had in his drift cars, I don't know, but... So it came with no seats. I managed to find these, but I've obviously got some bright Vertex ones on the way. He
hasn't done much else besides this really obvious sort of strut brace kind of thing, which is really cool.
Just bracing across the two towers, yeah.
And it's only a bar welded onto the strut tower and then into the original parcel shelf.
Yeah.
I think he has cut half of that away, hasn't he, by the looks of it? Because I'm assuming it comes out to here usually on by stock.
Yeah, normally it'd be literally there, so I think he has cut it away and gusseted it just for strength and a bit of...
It's just a nice bit of fabrication. It's better than just having a bar across, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it's neat.
Did he buy the cage off the shelf, do you know?
Or was it? It's an MCR factory cage.
Oh, sweet, okay.
Bolted in there
with the cheeky gussets.
Cheeky welded, non-welded gussets. Yeah. To be fair, I don't know. I did ask him where's the door bars, because I was like, it came with door bars, obviously,
but not when you had it.
No,
when it arrived to you.
It arrived to me with no door bars. I was like, okay, maybe.
But the pictures at the port, it did.
No.
Honestly, mate. But
no, so like, I didn't actually buy it from Japan itself. So
sorry, yes.
Yeah, so it was whoever bought it previously. I don't know the guy's name, but Muz imported the car. Don't West Miles. The guy had it dry stored for 3 years. Don't know, because a lot of people ask me, "Oh, mate, I saw this ages ago and it just disappeared."
And you don't know who had that?
I don't know his name. I must probably get his name, but I don't know his name personally. No. But
it's great that obviously you're now actually using it for its purpose, driving it. You're going to drift it instead of keeping it and hoping it appreciates.
Yeah, I was looking for a clean, like OEM Plus spec car for ages, and he threw this at me as a bit of a project. And I just, it
sort of speaks to you more because you can actually sort of use it and not feel too guilty.
Yeah, exactly. And he's seen my SD1000 and what I did to that, and he knows how much like time and effort I put into that. So he just said, you know, you're the person that I know will bring it back to what it was. And
yeah, he does like to sort of choose where a car goes if he can.
Yeah.
So it's good that he's chosen you now.
Here it is.
I can't wait to actually see you on the track, mate. Because obviously the few pictures I've seen of it in Japan, it's going to be wild. You're going to break the internet over here, to be fair. Moving on.
Not with my drifting.
Not yet, mate. Practice with the old Beamer, it's fine.
Oh,
the engine, mate, the piece de resistance, I suppose.
Ooh.
Now...
I get my trusty... body stay up.
Hey! Now, as I said earlier this morning, when a car looks like this, you don't expect them to go whole hog on an engine, but because it is actually primarily meant to be a drift car, he has gone whole hog. Obviously, the first thing you notice is your V-mount. You haven't modified any of this, have you?
No, I haven't, no. This is how it came. I think it's a big Trust intercooler. Obviously, there's a massive oil cooler here, and then rad at the bottom. You can just about see, all in a V-mount setup, so perfect for drifting, keeping it cool.
I was going to say, have you noticed any creep, like heat creep or anything?
No temperature issues whatsoever.
Because it is still quite sandwiched.
It doesn't have a thermostat in it though, so if it gets a bit cold, the water temps do drop right off.
Well, usually, no viscous fan as well. I've noticed, like really fucks you up. But because you've got a V-mount, I'm assuming that really saves the day.
Yeah, I've literally had no temperature spikes whatsoever. I even had to put a switch on the fans because they were hardwired in, so I had to put a switch in to stop it from cooling it so much. Because obviously when you're just driving in a straight line cruising, the temperature's just plummeting. Especially when it's not, especially if it's not like today. Today's alright, but if it's, you know, we get cold days. But.
So if it was like, he just used it as a drift car then? He never had it on the street because...
I never saw it on the street, mine, but...
Split fire cool packs, no, as far as you know, not forged?
No, it's not forged, it's not been overlooked, no. It's
not
just
forged.
a S13 blacktop, SR20, HKS cammed. Yeah, the actual block itself's not been touched. So
yeah, beautiful sounding cams. We're not
unsure which stage, but I'll find out.
Please do.
Originally it came with Nismo 750s, and I put the top mount, put Bosch 1050 IDs on it with the radium top mount.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
So that was even more violent, huh?
It's just to give it that bit of extra. If I want to change the setup, that gives me more, you know, room to play with.
Absolutely.
You would have maxed out the 750s probably, but
we're not sure on your plenum.
No, there's a few companies.
I mean, it's built really nicely. It looks like a Pleasant Man, possibly. Yeah. Who knows? Your custom reservoir and everything here. I do like little touches like this. Very Japan. Turbo. G ready?
Sorry. Yeah, ready. TD06 25.
Nice and easy. Large flexi.
Needs a bit of heat proofing. Yeah, originally when I got it, the downpipe was completely snapped. Obviously, they don't have to run a flexi on a straight floor, so but I put a flexi in just purely because the exhaust touches the floor, so I want it to have a little bit of give, not just completely like snap all the time.
From us driving around today, yeah, you need that flexibility.
Yeah.
Is that literally where it meets the downpipe just there? Is that what we're hearing all the time, or is it scraping
the
further?
actual scraping is further back. How low it's in the back because they've reinforced like a plate welded along the actual exhaust for when it obviously goes on the floor. So no, the flexi goes there and that sits quite high. It's just because it's 4 inch all the way back. There's no room underneath. You wouldn't get any bigger.
I thought it would be smaller than that. To be fair,
no.
He must have had to hammer the hell out of the tunnel to actually get the 4 inch all the way back.
It does fit quite nicely, but I wouldn't say you get a silencer in if you try.
And then obviously you can't deny this awesome fab work.
Yeah, nice and tubbed. Literally everything I would have done to an S body already done. So kind of, you know. The V mount is just, yeah, there's a lot of fab gone into that. It's just, yeah.
Is this the section that sold it to you when you were showing your pictures?
Yeah, pretty much. The car looks the tits, but the full...
Well, you know,
I wanted a solid engine setup, and I said to him, I'm not even fussed if it's forged or not. To be honest, I'm sometimes inclined to where it's not been touched, so you know, it's only going to go, if it goes wrong, it's nothing they've done.
As you say, what you're running like 420-ish?
423, yeah.
Brilliant number, by the way.
Bar, yeah.
428. But running that power, I would assume that it might give you problems, but I'm amazed that you can run them up to what, say 400 usually without any kind of...
Yeah, I mean it's only on the Power FC ECU. We had issues with the boost controller peaking at 1.5, although the Japanese owner, when I was speaking to him, he said, no, you want it at 1.6, get 550, and I was like...
Bloody hell.
He was
running it on 550?
He was overclocking it, yeah. But it was, the actual boost controller was peaking at 1.5, so I think Jack said that's probably what they were running at. So we've just put a 1.3 bar spring in and run off wastegate. So.
See, now over here, running 1.6 on a non-forged sort of gives you quivers, doesn't it?
But yeah, Jack at Jay's Garage Motorsport, he literally said I wouldn't go more than 1.3, which is fair enough. If you want it to last anyway.
Yeah, you want some sort of longevity out of it. Yeah. It's a really cool car, and it's just really awesome to see you use it on the street.
Yeah, there's a few bits that need tidying up. Obviously, paintwork's not the best.
Yeah, there's a reveal video to be had, I suppose, soon, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Hopefully, it will be going to players to get a colour reveal going on.
So to you, in terms of changes, you think it's just paint that you kind of want to do? Like, in terms of its looks anyway?
To be fair, I love the way it looks. Front bumpers, wide body, spoiler. I don't want to put a big gay wing on it. I like the wing as it is. It's quite subtle. Probably going to look a bit of a silencer in at some point.
Can you say anything subtle about this car though?
Nah, literally. But yeah, whether I change the turbo setup, maybe. I mean, as good as it is, if it starts going wrong or there's issues, then I might change the turbo setup.
I mean,
probably go link ECU because Jack's. You know.
Just to improve the actual reliability side of things.
Yeah.
Where does it kick in though? Like the boost right now? What rev range?
It's quite low. It's like 3.5, I think.
At the beginning.
I wouldn't change that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
When Jack said it kicks in really quickly for a TD06, because he said you probably want to put TD05 on it if you want to, increase it.
That's sort of the go-to, isn't it? The size, but
it's like 3.5, 4, yeah. But
not
to
bad.
be honest, I'm not really, I'm not really fucking looking at it.
But it's all right. That's all right for drifting.
Oh, it's perfect.
A nice 3.5 sort of kick.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Last but not least, this bumper here is, as we've been scratching our heads, it looks very Works 9, but it is a separate lip, which is really cool. I don't think he's just like bonded it to the bumper, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see pretty much the bondage at the front there. A bit of white.
But it makes such a difference. I don't know how much. I think it's just.
I'll ask him and find out. I think it is a full. I think it's it might be a Works 9 extension that they do, but without actually asking him, I don't. Like when I got it from Woods, he didn't know much details about it, apart from it's a beast.
It's got, honestly, your head's in the right sort of mindset with this. It's just you're going to improve it when things break.
Yeah.
Use it so it will break, and then have fun with it. Like, what's the point in just keeping it in the garage or just showing it off without using it as well?
It's still going to be worth money at the end of the day.
Absolutely, man. Like, well, I mean, just sitting here, it's probably gone up about £1,000, isn't it? So, no, that's wicked, man. No, thank you for today, and it's wicked to meet you and this car. And of course, I'd love to come up again when it's changed colour and a few other tweaks.
Yeah, hopefully if you're players, you'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, players, I think, will probably be the next time we meet. It'll be sick. And you're going to get on a stand, aren't you? Fingers crossed.
Not been accepted yet, but...
Yeah. Sick, man. Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
Thank you.